But all of the things that we've given, and they wouldn't vote only because they hate Trump. But I hate them too, you know that? So it's...
Bring the temperature down, they say. 2 Democratic lawmakers were assassinated just days ago. 17 rounds were fired by a Trump supporter, murdering a wife and a husband, 2 Democrats, 2 leaders. Another couple was attempted assassination. They survived. A Trump supporter did this, while Republicans say, oh, the Democrats need to bring down the temperature. They need to ease down on the hate. They hate Donald Trump. Why would they hate Donald Trump? He's a patriot. Donald Trump yesterday at this 250 celebration rambled and lied and delivered his screed and anger and vitriol and hatred against Democrats on the heels of a successful assassination of people who didn't align with him politically. He's now talking about how much he hates Democrats. And I'm going to play the clip, and I want you to pay attention to the audience behind him. It is just unwashed, low information, Fox News, Newsmax, One American News, just drivel these individuals behind him. Hooting, hollering, just, cannot get enough of Donald Trump's animated hatred toward a party that wants to help and lift up the oppressed. Disgusting. And the second clip I'm going to play is Monica Crowley, one of his ambassadors, who lays at Donald Trump's feet a worship service that would make even your most propagandistic North Korean news anchors blush. First, though, watch Donald Trump just pour his hatred and venom all over the crowd, and they love it.
I got to tell you, I want to thank Republican congressmen and women, because what they did is incredible last night, and the Senate, the Republican Senate, we got, not with all of the things we did with the tax cuts and rebuilding our military, not one Democrat voted for us. And I think we use it in the campaign that's coming up, the midterms, because we got to beat them. But all of the things that we've given, and they wouldn't vote only because they hate Trump. But I hate them too, you know that? So it's sort of, I really do, I hate them. I cannot stand them because I really believe they hate our country. You want to know the truth? But it kicks illegal aliens off of Medicaid and food stamps and allows us to hire 3,000 new Border Patrol agents and 10,000 new ICE agents, and they are great patriots, the Border Patrol and ICE, to carry out the largest deportation operation in the history of our country. And I don't like saying that. I don't like saying that, but we have a country. We have a country to run, and we have so many people coming in that shouldn't be here. And they did. They came in from prisons, and they came in from drugs and gangs and drug lords, the worst in the world. They came in from mental institutions. They emptied mental institutions into our wonderful country. And I know exactly what's going on in Iowa. You had some horrible crime in Iowa caused by illegal aliens, but we're getting them the hell out of here. We have no choice.
So he hates Democrats, and he's going to unleash upon this country 3,000 new Border Patrol agents and 10,000 new masked secret police in the form of ICE. That's what his big, beautiful bill did. Not only creating larger piles of money who rest upon already massive piles of money, helping the wealthy with his tax scam, he's also going to inflict his secret police on the country. Now I want you to listen to Monica Crowley, someone he named to be an ambassador, talk about the birth of new freedom that Donald Trump has inherited from our founders. He's inherited the spirit of our founding fathers. It's too much. Watch this and then let's talk about it on the other side.
A new birth of freedom is exactly what we are experiencing right now because our current president is a direct inheritor of the founders' heroic character. A profoundly brave man, driven by the noble fight for American freedom, guided by the hand of God. From Washington, Adams, Jefferson, and Hamilton to Trump, the through lines of history are clear. President Trump is the heir to those greats who 250 years ago risked their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor for America. We are now in a moment in our history when, thanks to President Trump, we are turning the tide again, just as the revolutionary generation did. It is our time to take big risks to save our country. And it is our duty to honor our past generations and their staggering sacrifices for which we owe them a huge debt of gratitude. We are the natural successors to the Revolutionary War generation, fiercely independent, ruggedly individualist, faithful to God and country, with a white-hot love of liberty and the unique, enduring American spirit. It's been said, and I've studied history, so I know this argument well, it's been said that great civilizations tend not to last more than about 250 years. We have made it to year 249 with our big 250 coming up next year. This is an inflection point for the United States. We really do stand at a crossroads in history. As a nation, we could continue to slide into steady decline.
They know they're on camera. She's speaking into a microphone. She knows this will be preserved for our posterity. A new birth of freedom is exactly what we're experiencing right now. What, freedom from health insurance, Monica? Freedom from being able to go and live unmolested by the government? Is that the kind of freedom you're talking about? Freedom from an inexpensive education. Freedom from languishing in poverty in our elderly years. Is that the kind of freedom you're talking about, Monica Crowley? Because our current president is a direct inheritor of the founders' heroic character. She's talking about Trump here, a profoundly brave man driven by the noble fight for American freedom and guided by the hand of God. Who in the king's are you talking about, Monica? Donald Trump, a profoundly brave man, guided by the hand of God and driven by the noble fight for American freedom. This is parody. This is like a bad Saturday Night Live bit. Donald Trump is not profoundly brave. The word noble should not appear before or in and around his name. He is none of these things. He is an ostentatiously wealthy puke who rises every day with machinations of how to become richer, profiting off the presidency, violating the emoluments clause of the same Constitution to which he raised his right hand and swore an oath to. The same Constitution you swore an oath to, Monica Crowley. Beyond parody, disgusting. The hypocrisy and the lies and the selling a bill of goods that just, who's buying it? I mean, other than these turds behind Donald Trump who squeal with delight at the prospect of mass deportation in a Nazi Germany-like roundup of our community members. Non-criminals. Look, I know we're in another period right now. I could tell by the lay of the land, just by as soon as that bill passed yesterday, people were checking out. There was dismay in the air, hanging heavy. Take a break. Reach out to somebody who needs to be uplifted, because we need everybody in the fight. Because the midterms are upon us, and now is the time to take back our country. We form a majority in the House of Representatives and a majority in the United States Senate, if as overwhelming a majority as we can come together with. And then we impeach and remove Donald Trump, forbidding him from office ever again. Now is the time. Anyway, what do you think? You can comment below. You can also call the voicemail line. I would love to hear from you, 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me, as always, daily@dollemore.com. I'm going to see you next time. Be genuine. Salvage the weekend. Steel yourselves for the fight. Be genuine. Take care of one another. There's been plenty of coverage about how Trump's big, beautiful bill would disembowel Medicaid. But did you catch the subtext? MAGA loyalists slid into it, providing a legal loophole that could effectively make Trump untouchable. This bill would stop federal judges from enforcing any court order against the executive branch unless you first pay a bond potentially so high most Americans wouldn't be able to pay it. So if this bill passes and Trump then violates the law, repercussions would likely be muted at the very best. This is the GOP's playbook in action. Create chaos in the headlines for people to focus on, while actual authoritarian decisions are being ushered through under the radar. We need more visibility on items such as this, especially when there is so much day-to-day chaos in the news. That's why I use Ground News. It is a remarkably helpful tool at looking at topics from multiple angles and for exposing blind spots that might otherwise slip past your everyday news consumption. Ground News is the only app and site built to pull in news from across the globe and then break down the bias and credibility of each source. You can also use Ground News' browser extension when you're reading news elsewhere to flag the bias of a source and link to other credible reports to cross-reference the information. Ground News is simply a better way to stay informed. No algorithms, no echo chambers, no blind spots. Scan this QR code or head to ground.news/Dollemore now to score 40% off the same Vantage plan that I use, which gives you unlimited access for just $5 per month. You can also click the link in the description below to save. We have another 3.5 years of this insanity, and the right is counting on you to be distracted. See all the news with Ground News.